One is, what's the best way to cut? What I'm doing differently this than last year. Which last year I made some mistakes, which I want to fix this year, and I want to talk about what that is and some key points to most efficient cutting. So last year when I cut, I always cut too fast, too dramatically. The language that I use, the two polarized categories in my mind when I cut was before, always, balking and cutting and balking. It was just balking and cutting. There's only two opposite categories. And when I'm balking, everything that I do or perceive or everything I eat is thrown into that category of balking. So I eat like crazy, I eat junk food and I dirty bulk, 8,000 calories. And then when I cut, it's always just totally opposite. I start to eat like no carbs immediately and lost some muscles. So before, which is bulking, cutting, too extreme. But right now, what I'm doing differently, first thing I'm doing differently is having different categories. More like a gray area when I cut, because cutting is like a degradation, not just like from jumping from one category to the opposing one. So right now, I'm just starting my cut. This is the third week. In my mind, I'm still going from bulking to slightly bulking to, okay, now reverse dieting, now maintaining. Now I have the mindset of maintaining. I'm not gonna eat that little. I'm not gonna, kill myself in the cardio. Even if I have my set and reps all done, it's just a mental thing. Even if it's all like set and reps all like figured out. And then slowly I'll be like, okay, now I'm getting leaner and leaner, and then I'm cutting, and then I'm getting ripped, and then I'm getting fucking ripped to the bones. Hopefully, by the time that happens, I don't lose too much muscles because I'm doing it slowly. So, most important thing about cutting is, dieting wise, cut your carbs slowly. The peak of my bulk was 400 grams of carbs. Now I'm 300, but in the middle, John Aldous Holloway prescribed 380, 365, 320, now 300 on training days. Fat, 5 or 10 grams less, protein the same. Protein always stay the same, protein never change. Alright, so I'm gonna slowly cut down the carbs. That's number one. Number two, in the gym. What do you do in the gym? You do basically the same workout that you used to bulk. But since you're not gonna grow anymore, you have to be careful that you have to keep the intensity high. You have to lift just as heavy, if not heavier, than what you were doing before when you bulked. When I was bulking, I was doing more like, in the 8 to 10 reps range, right? And when I'm cutting, I'm doing more like, intensity is higher, and the volume is a little bit lower. So volume maybe like 80, 90% lower, and then 85% lower, cut down a little slowly, okay? So yeah, intensity stays the same, just as heavy, if not heavier, because the number one key to preserving muscle is to keep your strength. The stronger your muscles are, the more likely they'll be preserved when you cut. See, my triceps and my shoulders are the strongest of my muscles, and they are the two muscle groups that never go smaller when I cut. If you keep your strength, the one thing I test out is I try to follow. I try not to decrease my strength too much. I try to keep the strength the same. If you keep your muscles, most likely your strength will stay the same. So if week in and week out when you cut, if your strength stays the same, you're most likely you're not losing a lot of muscle mass. Okay? Number three, cardio. Cardio. A lot of people have this problem of losing their leg muscles too quickly when they cut. Me too. And what you do is you pick the cardios that are not too taxing on your legs. You can do elliptical. That's what John Aldous Holloway said. He preferred elliptical machine than just jogging. Or you can roll, or you can go swimming. And I'm doing 2 cardio sessions a week. That's slow intensity, and 1 cardio session a week. That's high intensity. So 1 day sprints, 2 days walking. When you walk, I burn 350 grams of calories each session.